See, I'm gonna check real quick on YouTube if we're live. All right, we're live.
Yes. Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys for tapping in for another episode of Roots of Resilience. We have a special, very special guest, our very own Jason Pereira, also known in the community as JP. We'll give you guys a few seconds to get in and then go ahead and check out the chat for some of our housekeeping protocols. And then, yeah, it's an honor to be your host today. I'm riding solo bolo like the holo holo. My co-host St. Peter Afamata, he has the day off, but no need to fret, you guys. We're in good hands. We got a super team behind the scene, and with that, you guys, before we like we do in all our events and functions in our community, we like to open it up with a word of prayer. And with that, I'll pray us in. Our dear Heavenly Father, Tamal Langi, we just humbly come before you with one heart and one mind to give you all the glory and gratitude for thy love and thy protection. Lord, thank you for this day you have given us. Thank you for all the opportunities and even the challenges, Lord. We are so humbled that you have placed your guidance and your path before us, Lord, and give us the strength to follow that path. Lord, we ask that you allow the Holy Spirit to join us tonight in this gathering on this platform, Lord. So our guest, JP, may his words inspire our community. May his experience leads to action in our community, Lord. And just continue to be with everybody who tapped in. Even though that's going to watch it later, Lord, let it also be inspirational as well. Lord, we're so grateful for everything you do for us. Thank you for our community, our families, and our kids, Lord, and all our relationships, Lord. We ask that you just continue to be with us. We're so grateful for this work you put in front of us. Thank you for all our leaders in the community, such as JP, Lord, especially working with the youth. We ask that you continue to be with our youth, to guide them and to protect them throughout um, their lives, Lord. And we just humbly come before you and just give you everything, turn to you for everything, Lord. And we say and pray these things. Tamal in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you guys for that. And yeah, before I turn it over to Lorraine for some of our acknowledgments and um, announcement, just want to give a big shout out to all the Dodgers fans out there, man. Back to back titles. The city is still buzzing. You can just feel it in the air. And with that, I'll turn it over to Lorraine for some acknowledgments.
Thank you, Upu. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our Heavenly Father for this opportunity for us to be together. As the indigenous people of the Pacific, it is cultural protocol for us to give acknowledgments and to pay our respects. We give our sacred acknowledgments to this land we now call home and its original people. On behalf of the Southern California Pacific Islander Community Response Team, also known as SoCal Pickert, we give utmost respect to the Tongva and Chumash people, who are the original people of LA County. We hope that our work supports your pursuit of self-determination for your current and future generations. We give our deepest respects to our elders who paved the way in this work through their leadership and sacrifices. We hope that we carry forth their legacy in serving our Pacific Islander community and humbly thank them for their wisdom and teachings. Last but not least, we give our respects to each of you here tonight for your grace and permission for our fellowship here on Roots of Resilience. And with that, I'll also introduce Upu. He serves as a community navigator for the Pacific Pathways program at SoCal Pickert. In 2020, SoCal Pickert started as a coalition of over 20 Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander organizations throughout Southern California and continues to carry a responsibility of supporting and uplifting our NHPI communities. In addition to caring for our coalition, we also provide direct services to our LA County NHPI families Pacific Pathways is one of SoCal Pickard's programs, and it's currently focused on connecting our communities to resources, including and not limited to small business owners, entrepreneurs, and families with housing needs in LA County. The program is funded by LA County's American Rescue Plan funds. Roots of Resilience is an offering through this program that we hope will bring you useful information to help strengthen and empower the dreams of our families. We hope that you will stay on for the whole program today, which will run as follows. We will be spending time with our special guest, Jason Pereira. The audience will have a chance to ask questions during the Q&A portion of our program. Stay tuned for resources later, like the upcoming PacBiz Small Business Mixer and the Skip 10K Growth Grant. Feel free to type questions into the chat box, as our team will be monitoring the chat on Zoom and YouTube to ensure we answer as many questions as possible. With that being said, we ask for your utmost respect for this gracious space that we are sharing together this evening. I'll go ahead and pass it back to Upu.
Thank you so much for that, Lorraine. Highly appreciate that. And before I get into our special guest, JP, I would like to ask Lorraine if she can read a bio so that way we can just uplift him and edify our brother. And yeah, just give you your legs, use your virtual legs and all the great work you're doing. And give up people a little snippet of who you are. Thanks, Lorraine.
Thanks, Upu. JP, Jason Pereira, a mixed Samoan artist born and raised in Los Angeles, Harbor City, and Carson, unceded land of the indigenous Tongva people. His family ascends from the villages of Leonge, Whaingakua, and Vatia, Kukuila Island, America, Samoa. He is a cultural bearer and storyteller in the shape of an artist whose practice is rooted in service to Pacific Island culture and community. As a visual artist, JP generates works that help tell stories and shape identities of the people and organizations that call on him to create. Cultural art, graffiti art, and graphic design inform his artistry and approach. The art he creates is expressed through murals, paintings, weavings, and mixed media 3D works. They are rich in storytelling as they're multi-layered and multi-dimensional. With institutions such as the Natural History Museum, Los Angeles, Chinese American Museum, LA, Museum of Latin American Art, UCLA, and many of the universities, colleges, and schools throughout California, JP has curated, created, exhibited, and presented his works that reflect stories of connection and healing for our Pacific Islander communities. Community-based organizations such as Enpine, PIP, EPIC, KCF, Samoan Solutions, SoCal Picker, Birth Workers of Color, API Forward Movement, Cause, and Visual Communications have all commissioned JP to uplift their stories and raise the visibility of their work through his artistry. As a resident artist of Pacific Islander Ethnic Art Museum, he collaborates with fellow artists and mentors emerging artists. He is also a Constellations Fellow with the Center for Cultural Power and was recently honored with the Congressional Proclamation from the Congress of the U.S. House of Representatives, the 45th District of California, for his cultural stewardship and artistic contributions to the Pacific Islander community. Currently, JP works from his studio in Long Beach, California. And last but not least, there's a couple of fun facts we're gonna share. Um, so me and my cousin's first graffiti crew was 3WC, Third World Creations, eighth grade. We used to take the bus lines all over LA from Carson to downtown LA to Hollywood and Venice Beach, checking out graffiti art scenes, visiting the graffiti yards, and making new friends. We eventually transitioned to a bigger crew from LA Pico Union area called Out for Action, who's still active today. The second fun fact, I worked in the fashion industry for many years doing design, manufacturing, and and sewing. I had my own apparel line for a while called JP South Pacific. It was in response to surf brands appropriating our Pacifica culture art and patterns without any context. They were well designed, but hella shallow. It was also frustrating that they didn't make our island sizes 2X or bigger. So I said, I'll make our own and tell our own stories. Third and last, fun fact, I'm slow. I take a long time. In my head, everything is easy, but deep in my heart, I know I'm gonna find a way to make it hard. Most of the time, I'm running late, so I'm always coming in hot. If you ask me to do something for you and I ask you, when do you need it by? And you say, whenever you have time and don't give me a date, it is going on the list behind all the other things people don't give me a date on. Also, I write how I talk. So, yeah. And with that, I'll go ahead and pass it back to Upu.
Man, thank you, Lorraine. Very impressive. Oh, that's a very impressive resume right there. And just thank you for allowing us to just uplift you on this platform. You know, it's our honor and to give you your virtual lays is well deserved. And with that, man, we'll just dive right into our little lines of questions we have for you.
Yeah, man.
Uh, can you start by sharing a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what island, and then a little bit about your upbringing?
Yeah, man. Carson kid to the heart. Grew up all over Carson. Um, Born in Harbor City though, and lived in Harbor City for a while. So, uh, yeah, definitely a Harbor City kid too. But where else? And American Samoa. I lived there as a kid for a few years, going to school there. We lived in Leone. Shout out to my Auma family in Auma, Leone, right where this little tree, uh, Niuaveve, the little rock island, Lonely Palm is. That's our little bay in Samoa. And so, yeah, spent a lot of time there and still spend time there. My family's still right behind this tree, right on the island. So yeah, that's those are the places that I grew up. Also, our church up in LA, LA Hood Church, on 125th. Spent a lot of time there. That's a lot of also my cultural upbringing. My parents are Joe and Flo Pereira. They live in Samoa, American Samoa right now. My family still lives in Carson. My siblings still here in LA. One of them's in Japan. My brother Caleb with his wife are Brittany and my sister Venetia and Trent baby down there in Carson with all their kids and grandkids. My brother Lennon up in LA. And then of course my wife Sue and my son Leone in Garden Grove. And yeah, all my family all over. Um, Actually, yeah, all over California, Northern California, Vegas, Arizona, Hawaii. Um, yeah, much love to everybody. And of course, all my artist family and community family and all my friends and homies, that are in the area. So, yeah, I did.
Man, thanks for that. Like I said, just uh right here in Southern California, Carson is like the staple of Southern California for our Samoan community. And yeah, so I just want to ask you, so you're an artist,
Yeah.
and how does your Samoan heritage shape your art? Like how do you tell stories through your art, or and ways you get to share that?
Well, I never really thought of myself as a storyteller until I like just literally just started telling stories through my art. I think about my grandmother when I think about storytelling in the way that she used to share stories with us, bedtime stories, and she would say it in Samoan partly and then partly in English. They didn't always make sense, but she would say like, well, it makes more sense in Psalm 1, but you don't speak Psalm 1, so too bad, you know. And so I got a sense of like, Oh yeah, Samoan mentality is a different way of approaching the world and looking at the world than, Western mentality. So, um, and just honoring that, we have our own way of telling our stories. And so when when it came to like thinking about, or when it came to the practice of telling stories in my art, I think it started from the birth of the clothing line that I did, which was called JP South Pacific. The first time we made t-shirts was for Samoan Flag Day in Carson. And I had noticed all the years that I went, they weren't selling any t-shirts celebrating the event. And no one really talked about the history of it, at least that I did, and not in my generation. And so I saw what we were doing for all these clothing brands in my regular line of work at that time, doing a lot of freelance work and apparel work for like a lot of the streetwear, skatewear brands, surf brands, and I saw how they created their t-shirt designs, and the level of quality and the printing and the t-shirts and stuff, but they weren't telling the story either. And they were using a lot of our Pacific Island patterns and motifs in their works, but they didn't know what those meant. It didn't matter to them. To them, it was just design aesthetics. And so, when I made these two t-shirt designs for Flag Day, um, the designs that I had were like they told the story of Flag Day. You know, one actually had the story printed out, and then one had like visual, like silhouettes of celebrating Samoan culture, and it said like the date on there, which, the date of Flag Day, which is April 17th. For whatever reason, here in Carson, we celebrated in August. And so, but these designs were like the quality of them were in alignment with what we would see in the stores, and the t-shirt quality, a lot of these clothing brands that were out there at the time. So I took that, our stories, that quality, that level of quality of product, and we went to Flag Day. I walked around with a milk carton crate with the two t-shirts folded with the designs facing up and a sign in the front, Flag Day t-shirts, $10, and I just walked around the festival and started selling them. Every time someone held it up, other people were coming around and asking, what is that? And they saw it, our color selection, the color combos, the story itself, the design aesthetics. It's a week-long festival. We had 400 t-shirts and we sold all of them in like 2 days, just walking around. And that was like a signal for me, like, I have something here, we have something to build on. But it was the story. The story was the important thing, and so yeah, that kind of like took off from there.
Yeah, I could see how, like you said, selling 400 t-shirts in 2 days at an event such as the Flag Day, it definitely was a confirmation. It was like, okay, I guess I'm about to do t-shirts, all these patterns. I wonder if any of those t-shirts still around. Do you ever see one of your old printings, people sporting them?
I saw one of those Flag Day shirts probably about 10 years ago, which that was already like a long time past, because I think that was like in 94 when we did those.
Oh
Yeah,
shoot,
yeah.
talk
And
about vintage.
I was just a kid, man. I didn't know what we was doing. Man, we just had all this cash, and I was like, what are we gonna do? I had my cousin and my big homie there, and my other cousin in San Jose with his screen print shop. He's the one that helped me print it all. And yeah, it was a pretty amazing experience, and that's where we just kind of grew the clothing line. And every design from that point on had its own little story, and we had a frame that told the story, the way we merchandised everything, all the designs facing out. It looked like a store when you walked in our booth, you know. Um, and people got to, they got to learn, they got to be educated on our culture in that way. And it was
Exactly.
a new way for people to like find their identity through, a clothing brand. It wasn't just design aesthetics.
Yeah, you shared earlier that some of the designs you were seeing like in other company or in other artists who wasn't particularly from our community, but like using our patterns and our designs. Like, are you cool with that? How does it make you feel as a like Pacific Islander artist? Are you like, man, that's ours. You guys can't use that, or
Yeah.
are you like, man, the more the merrier?
Yeah, so we've wrestled with this conversation for many years. It really came to a head when Nike used our Totale designs for their like the women's workout pants that they did, and that conversation really took off there. Um, I'm of the mindset that I can't control what other people do. People are going to do what they're going to do. My hope is that people honor the places where they get their stories from. So, like our Samoan culture, right? You're going to go in, you're going to like use our designs, like take the time to educate yourself on our culture. Take the time to build relationships with the culture bearers, the artists, the kufungas that's in our culture, because these aren't just design aesthetics. These are our stories. This is our language, and I think when you understand it in that way, you're going to approach it in a more honorable way, however you're going to use it. That may even tell you, oh, maybe I shouldn't use it because those aren't my intentions, but at least like pause and take that time to do that. I think we're in an age now where people will call you out on that stuff quick, and so like for all of us artists, that's a practice that we should do when we're even as artists ourselves, like how we approach inspiration from other cultures, that we take that approach too, but still people are going to do what they're going to do, and I don't I don't really feel no type of way about it. I know everyone needs to pay their bills and um, excuse the siren. We right here in downtown Long Beach, so yeah,
I feel some,
yeah.
too.
I don't have a hard line on that issue. You know, it's everyone's learning at their own pace, and I just have my own hope for people to respect and honor that where the origins of these things come from. We have the internet now. You can do your own homework. You can do your own research. You can do your own Google. And so my hope is that people would do that first.
Yeah, and I hope that Tata was compensated by Nikes for just using their print.
Yeah, I think they ended up pulling it. I think they pulled it.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
damn Nike. Uh, yeah, so I just kind of want to just kind of go back a little bit to where it all started. I know for me, growing up as a kid, I had an older brother who loved to draw, and I was fascinated by his drawings. I was like, man, I wish I can do that, just watch him create something out of nothing and put it on paper. And like I said, it was very impressionable for me as a little brother. Then I tried to draw myself and found out, oh, it's a talent actually. It's not for everyone. But can you share with us on like how young were you when you started drawing, or when did you find that this is me?
Yeah, my earliest memory of drawing is when I was 4 years old. Um, my dad is an architect, and so when I was at that age, I think he was in architect school, so he was building model houses and drawing houses. He'd use some of my toys as props for his model houses, like parking one of my toy cars like in the driveway of the house, model house that he built. And so yeah, I was just inspired by that, and I would just try to copy him or copy what he's drawing or copy like cute little characters in my book or in my storybooks. And then you know, going to Samoa, man, there was a lot of great artists there. There'd be like these shacks where the boys hang out in the village, like along the road. And there'd be like these drawings on the wall of just like different characters, different like muscle men, and just like really cool drawings, that I thought they were cool at the time. And then I end up having artist friends in school, and we're like drawing ninjas and transformers and things like that. And and then coming back here, my cousin, great artist, like me and him would just like any movie that we just saw, we draw like the characters from that. So we're just always drawing, like making fun of each other. My cousin has a fascination with noses, so he'd be drawing people with big noses or big feet or something like that. Yeah, so people would clown, like as an artist, you can clown draw with against each other. And we'd be in Bible study too. Oh, my mom's Bible
Something.
study, like making drawings of each other. At church, I mentioned to this earlier, like our at church, man, our program for the church was like a folded piece of paper. The back page was always blank. And so when we were really young, we were using that for tic-tac-toe and hangman and stuff like that. But then I started drawing. So then like everyone like in the choir or Sunday school seating area, like, hey, draw me a picture, draw me a picture. And so I'm like drawing during church, and then it will carry over to like Carson High School, the library, like all the gangsters hanging out there, and everyone's like asking me to draw like gangster drawings, you know, of gangsters kicking it or with shotguns or like on a car, it's just like so just like always drawing, man. It was once the community finds out you're an artist, it's just
Yeah.
they keep coming with their requests. And someone recently said they still have one of my drawings from that time. Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Is he trying to sell it back to you?
No, I told him, man, next time I see you, I need to see it, man.
Screenshot it.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Before I get into the murals that you do, you mentioned earlier about your graffiti crew.
yeah.
Does did that translate into doing murals? Since murals is normally done outdoors on the building, on in the street, or is there a connection from being a graffiti member to murals?
Yeah, for sure, man. It is about being outside, being on the wall, like the physicality of it, the like, can I, well, graffiti's like its own thing, and then graffiti art is its own other thing. And yeah, the like for me in middle school or junior high school, we had a mural program there. And so like I was doing that first before like graffiti came into my life. And so we were painting murals at Stephen White Junior High School in Carson. And there's like four people from that mural class that are still doing art today, you know.
Oh wow.
And we had a Samoan mural that I had led. I still have like the little feature when NBC Channel 4 came and interviewed us and they took a photo of us. And there's four of us Usos on the wall, like painting it. But man, we messed around in that class too much, just playing around, messing around with other people and not really focusing. So that mural never got done. It was like two fishermen fishing on the reef, but that's at the time when like the Muscle Man t-shirts were out, the Master Graphics and Fortune Design t-shirts. And so we were trying to like emulate that. But on the other side of that building, there were two Tongan girls. We're still friends to this day, Anna and Alisi. They were just steadily working on their wall, and it was like a scene of a Tongan like lagoon with the village. Like, man, it was wholesome. It was beautiful. It was like just powerful. And they finished theirs and it was beautiful. And us guys, we just kept messing around. We never finished it. And I just felt for years, man, I just like would drive by and I could see my mural, like part of it, and like never finished it. And it just stood there probably over 10 years. It stood there, not finished. And then they finally like went over it. And then yeah, I feel like I owe my junior high school like a mural. Um, but like the graffiti part of it, like yeah, like when that came into my life, that whole culture was just fascinating to me. And like all of my research, all my papers, reports that were due like in school that I had to do for like English class or history class, I always centered it around like graffiti art, graffiti culture. So like I got to do a lot of research on that. My grandma would take me to these different libraries. She took me to the library up in downtown LA. And we like the old newspaper thing where you like they have photos of newspapers. Like she was on there looking for graffiti articles for me, and we printed them out. I still have those printouts from that time, and I would use them in my reports as for footnotes and reference and stuff. And yeah, man, and so that was a big part. And then we would go out and practice our graffiti art. In Carson, there's like these channels or canals underneath the freeway or underneath the bridge of the roads. There's one there by Carson Mall. That was the main spot because in Carson, that was the spot because you can see it from the freeway. So everyone wanted to get that spot, but you had to be good. You couldn't be whack. If you put one right there and it was whack, someone went over it quick, because they wanted Carson to look good. And Carson has its legends too. The big homie Dream, rest in peace. Like he's in the books. Like everybody looked up to Dream, and there's Hex. There's a lot of legends in Carson that came out of Carson in the graffiti world. But Dream was the big one, and yeah, man, I just loved the way that he did things, and I would just try to copy him, and then all the guys that we were hanging out with at that time too. So that's where we would practice was under the bridge. You just, hey, if the cops come, you better get out quick, man. But yeah, that, that's where
Yeah,
we would go.
I remember I wanted to, well, I didn't want it. I just wanted to spray paint on the wall when I was a kid, and man, I didn't have the nerves for it. I think it was at nighttime. I was spray painting the wall right off of Alondra, and I heard a car come. I just threw the can over the
Yeah,
brick wall, hopped over the brick wall, was gone. I was like, I'm not cut out for that. But yeah, graffiti was a huge. I remember that era, the '80s, '90s. Graffiti was everywhere, and I loved it. The art about it too. Like you would try to keep your eyes peeled to see, some good art out there on the wall.
oh
Um,
yeah.
so I wanted to ask you while we're talking about murals, can you share with us the process of that? Do you go in with complete control of that, or do you, you know, collab with the community that the mural is going up on or going up in? And do you guys talk with them, or what's that process like?
Yeah, so every process is different. And it depends on who's commissioning you to do it. If it's part of a project that, a community org is commissioning you to create something, and then it would need to align with that. If it's outdoors in a neighborhood, that's a whole different factor. Um, for me, my intention is to always like um be mindful of where your mural is living. So wherever community it's in, like it should reflect some aspect of the story of that neighborhood, you know. And so and then you got to be careful where you're at too, like when you're outside on the street painting a mural, like a lot of crazy things can happen. And so like building relationships with people there is important, the neighbors, the business owners. When we did the Tautua mural, um, I didn't know that neighborhood, but I knew that there was gang activity up there. And so I was like, you know what? I don't know. I don't want to get caught in any kind of like if there's a gang war or something like that, like, if you're not from LA, it may sound like kind of strange or silly even, but that is a reality of like being here, you
For
know,
sure.
and you have to be aware of that situation. You have to be aware of where you at. A lot of people say that here, and it's true. Don't matter where you're from, it's where you at. And so that mural in North Long Beach, the Tautua mural, I didn't know that neighborhood. I had never been that far north in Long Beach. I thought North Long Beach just went to the 91 where Jordan High School was at, and the other side was Compton, you know. But that North Long Beach right there, on 69th and Long Beach Boulevard, I didn't know. And so my friend owns a bar in Paramount, and I know a lot of like Samoans go there and stuff like that. So I called him. I said, "Hey, do you know anyone in this neighborhood that goes to the bar? Because I'm about to paint this mural here, but I don't want to get caught in anything." And he said, "Hold on." He called this Samoan guy that regular at his bar, but he's from a gang that's like two neighborhoods up in Compton. That Samoan guy called the 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 Crip gang right there and told them that his cousin is going to be painting a mural right there. And so he's cool, like basically give me a pass right there, right? And so my homie called me back. He said, "Hey, you're good to go." He already called them over there. I don't know any of these people, right? But I just know I had to do that. I had to try to do that. And so we get to start working. And a couple of those guys, they're coming out, they're seeing us every day, but they don't say nothing. And one of them came over, like after the first week, and he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we heard you're gonna be here. Yeah, don't worry, we got you though. You're good. You're good." And then after they started seeing the color scheme and everything, then man, they came over. They're like, "Man, we appreciate this, man. It brings a whole new energy to the block, the colors, the vibration, the vibes. It feels good here. So we appreciate it. Don't worry, we got it." You know, the SA gang now is on the other side of the neighborhood came by, and they came by with some other like they were on some other thing. I didn't know, but yeah, until like they made me like repeat what it said in Psalm 1. And yeah, and they were like, "Hey, what does that mean? What does that mean though?" Because it says Ole ala I le pule o le tautua. And I said, and they were like, "What does that mean?" And I said, "The path to leadership is through service." And they were like, "Ah, okay, okay. That's we like that. We like that. All right, man. You good. You good. Keep going." I didn't see it. My friend could see it from the ladder because he was up on the ladder. He was closer to the fence. I was a little frustrated that they made me do that, but I'm just like, they're part of the community here. They're asking me a question, I'll answer it. But my friend said, "Hey, man, they had a gun on their lap. They had the heat on their lap." And I was like, so I had people there with me. I was like, you know what? Let's pack it up, man. And it was nighttime too. I didn't want anyone to get hurt. And so, we packed it up and left. But those, some guys from that neighborhood, they came by later and they saw it and they were like, "Man, this looks good. Thank you. Don't worry, we got it." We had a tagger come through. He came and helped the Gang of Days. He said he talked to everybody, all the taggers in that area. He said, "Hey, don't worry about this. No one's gonna mess with it." The police came by and they were like complimenting it. They were like, "We appreciate this. Don't worry, we got it." The neighbors, their kids would come. They came and helped paint part of it. And yeah. And so
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing that because in my mind, uh, Well, like you said, in the area, that
Yeah,
you're doing all these murals that is got a history or a tradition of gang violence and man, a lot. I didn't realize that much goes into it, just but I as you was talking, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, them checking in. Like you said, the USO went over there, checked in with him, like, hey man, I'm having my folks come over here, gonna be working in your hood a couple of days or whatnot. Just all those little things behind the scene to where, a layman person like myself to murals and art, I would just think, hey JP, you want to do a wall over here on Long Beach Boulevard? Yeah, I'll be over there, and then that's it.
yeah,
Not knowing like everything behind the scene with that, you know.
yeah,
So painting large scales, murals,
yeah.
takes stamina. Obviously, you just shared that, the mentality, the physicality, spiritually. How do you stay grounded in all that process?
Man, yeah, that's what I love about murals. It's such a physical, like such physical work. You're expressing art with your full body, and I love that. But you also got to be like physically fit for it. I hate being on the floor, so I try to design the murals so that there's not a lot of detail on the lower parts. But for whatever reason, like when the design ends up calling for the best way for it to look is to have some of these details closer to the ground. And then I got to be on the floor laying down. And I can't, I have a hard time with it. So I do yoga now
Roy
to,
Shirley?
yeah, so I can like be like comfortable sitting on the floor. Like when you grow up as a Samoan kid, like you are always supposed to sit on the floor cross-legged. At least when I was growing up, and I was never comfortable sitting like that. I still am not, but I'm working on that. And that's a big challenge for me, like to get myself to be able to do that. So that's one of the things I'm doing. Being patient with folks that want to come and help, and just understanding what their level of skills are, and then just working with them on that. Um, I've had my own challenges of like being collaborative with folks, and so I like actively work on that and address that. So if I'm working on a mural that I know is going to be collaborative, I build the design in a way that allows people of different skill levels to help in certain areas, you know. Um, and yeah, like I'm doing a mural a class right now up in San Pedro at Angels Gate, and it's after school program with teenage kids, and everyone has a different skill level, and even to the point of like, do you know how to pour paint into a cup? Like, no, not everyone knows how to do that properly. So like, you got to meet people where they're at, and you're also a teacher, and realizing that. Um, yeah.
Nice. So can we expect some future mural from you of a couple of yoga poses or something? Like, oh yeah, that's JP, man. This is yoga art.
Hey,
Man,
we'll see.
I
You
love
gotta
that.
take care of your body, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We
definitely.
ask a lot of our bodies, so we have to, I just always encourage people, take care of body, take care of your feet too. Make sure someone's loving on them. Go get your pedicure, go take care of that because you need your feet every day you're alive if you can. So make sure you love them. You show some love on them.
Hey, y'all heard it here first, man. Give me a T-shirt printed with the feet, well manicured feet. I love that you had mentioned you're teaching a class right now in San Pedro of
Yeah.
teenage youth. Are you teaching them to do murals, or are you teaching them just to do art?
So it's called Teen Mural Club, and we have about
Okay,
12 to 15 students, and it's once a week after school program, and we I'm teaching, we're painting a mural, but I'm teaching them my process and my approach. And I'm the fourth artist to do this there. And so every artist has their own approach. And mine is coming from our culture. So we are painting like contemporary versions of our tapa cloth, our siapo, our ngatu, our masi, our kapa. So they're learning, I'm
Oh, wow.
teaching them about, our Pacifica culture through this process. And, one of them, they were like, I felt like she was like, I don't mean to be rude, but who's designing this? And I was like, that kind of caught me a little by surprise, because I'm not like a regular teacher. So, you know, like dealing with students and young folks like that. And, I had to tell them, well, I'm guiding this process. You guys are doing it, but we also are limited on time. So I have to make sure that we are designing and creating and painting in a way that we finish it on time. So that's another thing with murals too, is like your time management, planning it all out. For the most part, all the murals that I do have to be planned out. Because a lot of times your clients want to see a concept of a design before you paint it. Um, I love the projects where you just get to freestyle and just like do whatever you want. But that doesn't happen too often. So for murals on the regular, you have to plan it out, and then you plan your schedule of your days working and who's going to help and stuff like that.
Are the students, are they Pacific Islander students or is open to all students?
It's open to all students, but mainly students in that San Pedro area because it's an after-school program. It starts right at 4, so they only kept their outreach to students who can get there by 4 o'clock.
Hmm.
So they were thinking about doing banning, and I was like, well, if you do banning, then you need to do Carson. Can't be having banning there and not Carson.
Hey, who's the rivalry is over? Who's the rivalry is over, man?
but yeah, Banning was a little too far, and of course Carson was too. But yeah, so they kept it there. There was some PI students at the school because we had to go and talk to the schools, and I did encourage them, but and there were artists too, but they didn't show up. So yeah, that's mainly who's there.
Okay, cool. Uh, our podcast, it centers around roots of resilience. What do those words mean to you as an artist and your journey?
Oh, resilience, man. Like you see this tree right here. This this tree, Niwa Vive. This is, in our village in Leone. That's a symbol of resilience for me. And you know, and it's rooted in that rock there. And right now that tree has died and a new one's been planted. And so we're looking forward to it growing. Our ancestor was the one who planted this one long, long time ago. So that's been a symbol of resilience. It stood through hurricanes, storms, even a tsunami went right over it and right into our village. And it still withstood all of that. Um, it was a symbol of resilience for me when my son was born. 3 months early, a micro preemie, and the long journey that we had with him. And that really kind of shook my life up, going because I had to when he finally came home after 100 days in the NICU, 4 surgeries and all kinds of stuff. Um, my work where I was working at, they were laying people off. My wife's work was doing good, so I had to be the one to stay home and take care of him. And he was a really sensitive situation at that time. So like I pretty much had to change my life for that. And I wasn't expecting to do that at that level, but that was that, so I went into my own little downward spiral during that time. And but still taking care of him, and still showing up for my family. But I felt like God was like also kind of talking to me too, like, hey, you keep saying you want to be an artist. You keep talking about yourself as an artist, but you know, you're not doing what you really want to do. That job that you're working at, you can't go back there. You've gone as far as you can in that. And so you want to be an artist, this is the moment right now where you need to pivot. And there was a mural festival that was coming to Long Beach from Hawaii, and I went and volunteered there, and I met a professor from Santa Ana College who was volunteering with his students, and he was like, "Hey, you should come take the mural program with us. We just restarted it." And I was like, "There's a mural program?" And he was like, "Yeah, come take it with us." And so, me and my wife, we had some issues about that because she's trying to take care of our family financially. And, I wanted to go to school basically and kind of relearn something again and like, just explore that part of me. So we really had to work through that and just find some resiliency in that and having faith to step out and do that. Because up to that time, like you want to be an artist, but how you gonna do that and quit your job? That was
Wow.
scary, And so that really like taking that program really opened up a lot of things going forward, for me in my life. And um, it was all those experiences that kind of led up to that, seeing my son get better, grow and like develop really fast, just being impressed by his development was really inspirational to me at that time.
Yeah, man, I love when you was describing resilience in reference to the lone palm tree. Have you ever did a piece on it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The night that he was born, man, it was this picture that I pulled up. Um, Man, it's such a crazy story that night that he was born and he came early. But I was doing this drawing challenge in 2014 where I had to draw something every day, and it was December 3rd, and I was like almost to the end of the year. I was so excited, but that night I could not do it. I was like, man, I can't do it. I can't. And we were staying at this little cheesy motel across the street from the hospital in Fontana. And it was like, you know, um, my wife is in the shower, and I'm like sitting there at the desk, looking at my sketchbook, and then I just think of the tree. I think of Nueva Vivet, and I just start drawing that, and I drew it with the tide coming in, because my son wasn't breathing too well. He had to be intubated, and just thinking about him fighting for his life across the street in the hospital. The tide's coming in, but just breathe, son. Just keep breathing. And yeah, so I drew that tree that night. Um, and I've drawn it for a lot of things for our family, from Uncle Pele, rest in peace, and for all the babies that didn't make it, but their families still, stayed in the fight. Um, yeah, so we had my son's first haircut on that island. We went out there in 2018 and we had a ceremony out there. We went out there at low tide, and all my family went out there from Samoa, from the village, all the girls. And my mom, she said a prayer. We sung a song. My cousin, he's one of the chiefs of our family, he did a little launga, sang another song, and then we cut his hair. And yeah, man, that was a really special moment on this island.
Yeah, man, I love that definition of resilience of just your experience and your journey as you're going, just moving about uh, your career as an artist, and then, like I said, everything that with your son, and just overall, just the mental, like you were describing, how you got to be mentally, spiritually, and physically prepare
Yeah.
as an artist in the line of work you do. I'll ask you one more question, then I'll ask Lorraine if we have any questions in the audience or in the chat. You cool with that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Got a lot of stories, man.
Yeah. Um, so when you, like you said, you have there been, so obviously there have been challenges throughout, your personal lives, as we all face challenges, right? But some of us, when we be challenged or go through hard times, that's the time when we want to give up on things, right? And then for you, how are you able to, you know, if there's something that drives you every day that you want to share with us, that what keeps you going, and not wanting to, I'm tired of painting, or like what keeps JP going in the artist world?
You know, for me, I have this like unquenchable desire to learn. I am always learn. I'm always in learning mode. And, that requires, an open mind, open heart, empathy. Um, and, and then I'm a very curious person, and that's part of learning as well, for my artist practice, like I love doing things for our community. Um, but I also have my own selfish, like, desires too, like there's times, man, I want to do my own Pokemon. I want to do my own like fun little like things that's just for me, you know. Um, but also I've surrendered to like the fact that, I'm an artist for our community, man. And that brings me joy too, to work together with folks, to tell our stories in a visual way that gives people insight to, how to move forward, how to find a way, how to navigate. If I can do that for folks through my artistry, man, that's powerful for me. And I love that. That brings me joy, that I'm grateful for that. So like, as an artist, like you have visibility of like your favorite artists out there. I still got the graffiti artists that I follow, and I see all the cool, fun stuff they're doing. They're making toys, they got these big mural projects, or they're in these like big museums and stuff like that. And I'm like, dang, you know, I want to do that too, but I'm also like the kind of artist that I am too, and I got to honor that as well. So, like I mentioned in my little fun facts, like I'll find a way. Like things take a long time for me, and I just hope that I'm here long enough to, you know, that those those opportunities kind of find their way along my path to explore some of those. But if they don't, that's fine too, because I have faith that other opportunities are going to come along that bring me joy. Just like I have one right now. Just wanted to like quickly announce I didn't get to make it to the bio, but I am uh, leading the Storyteller Project with Epic, empowering Pacific Island communities. And yeah, so it's just an honor to be connected to them and to be able to lead this storytelling project, which is, going to be can also have like an artist's response to the stories that we're going to gather through this project. So just really looking forward to that, and so like opportunities like this, right? Like I didn't foresee that, but it's here and it fits who I am as an artist, and I'm just honoring that right now.
Man, that's heck of tight, man. And like you said, to be in the community doing it, you know.
Yeah,
I know for me personally, man, I just want to take this opportunity just to just to thank you. You know, you and a couple other brothers that's been doing this work, community service. So I've been doing community service for about 4 years, 5 years now through Folk Movement and now with SoCal Picker. And I always see you in the community, you know, all the events, man. And to me, that's I know that me and Peter be talking about it, man. That we need more of our men,
yeah,
more of our men to come out and just like that phrase, the path through leadership is through service, you know. And so, just being just generous with your service and your time to the community. Like I said, for me as a community member, man, it's one of the things that inspired me to get out here and do my part to serve the community as well, to give back. So just want to acknowledge you on that and give you a lays again for that, man. Just uh, and I can imagine them as time go on. You know, it's just going to be more and more men that's going to be joining us in this community service out here.
yeah, for
And
sure.
with that, I think we'll pause for a little bit to ask Lorraine if there's any questions from the chat, and then we can see if we can answer those questions.
Yeah, there's a question here. The question is,
Cool.
if you could leave our listeners with one message about creativity, culture, and resilience, what would it be?
Wow. You know, I don't know if I saw a video or conversation, um, but about this issue. But it was the issue of like being told by elders, like, just show up. Like, I don't have the solution for you because everyone is on their own life journey, but you want to serve or you want to like grow in some kind of practice, like show up. And the response back to that was like, well, I don't know how to show up. And so I think that's a great way to answer that question here, at least for me, for our artists. Because for me, like, I didn't have like any artists that I knew that were doing what I wanted to do. I just knew, like, I wanted to be a professional graffiti artist growing up, but I didn't know any, and I didn't have any to tell my parents, like, give them an example so they can give me the okay on that. But so being that for that person, for being that reference point for any artists who are interested in this field or in any creative field, like they have me now, and I offer myself as a resource, like to call. You have questions, you want to talk about business, you want to talk about money. All I can do is just share with you my experience. But showing up is also a big part of how I've grown, you know. Is it's very it's kind of annoying to myself, but also like I also reap the benefits of this. Like, I don't know how to say no. So I just end up saying yes all the time, and a lot of times I don't know what I'm doing, and so I just kind of like, we'll figure it out, but the reason why this opportunity came to me, because I just showed up, and people know that I'm an artist, and sometimes there's aunties there, they'll tell you what to do because you're there. You're a body that knows how to do something creative, like maybe draw a picture. Okay, they will tell you, but that only happened because you showed up. So when people say to show up, that means like get your body there, make your body presence there, even if it's just like to sweep, like at Pine with Auntie Fran, like everyone sweep, like, clean the bathroom, help move the things upstairs or bring the things downstairs. Just be there. Someone will tell you what to do, and as your face becomes more familiar, then more things start happening because then you get to talk to people, you get to build relationships with people. It really comes down to relationships and who you know when people talk about like how do I get these opportunities? How do I find resilience? It's just building your relationships with folks in the community and doing that by showing up. And then like when you show up with me, then I get to know you as an artist. And then I start sending you emails of grants, of of like volunteer work, or I need help on this project, and then we start building our relationship, our rapport together, and so that's some examples of how that can happen.
Nice. Any more questions, Lorraine?
Yeah, thank you, JP. We have a couple more. The first one is speaking on longevity and the resilience of your son. Do you think you will carry on your legacy of storytelling through art?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When we lived in Samoa as a kid, there was this at the museum, there were these workshops you could take to learn about our culture, right? You could take weaving, tapa making, um, uh, 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 carving. And there was one that was storytelling, and hardly anyone went to that one. So me and my sister went there because all the other ones were full. And it was an old Samoan man. He's sitting under the fale, and he starts talking in Psalm 1. First day, we didn't understand anything he was saying, but he's telling stories. And then he knew like we didn't speak Psalm 1, but then he just kept telling them anyways. I knew he was kind of getting frustrated. And then the last day, he saw we showed up and he told a story in English just for us. And clear as clearly spoken English. And I still know that story to this day from that experience. I was like in third grade. And but that resonated with me, like they had a dedicated workshop for storytelling there. And if you had the keys to the language, then you were gonna unlock a lot of knowledge and a privilege to like learn something new. Well, we didn't, and this old man, he still shared something with us, and we were able to walk away with that. But that left an impression on me as a young person that storytelling is embedded in us. And then when I saw Taika Waititi for his I think it was Academy Award acceptance speech when he said, "We are the original storytellers." The indigenous people, I was like, man, that's right. Or we are.
Yeah.
And so that I feel like that's inherent in me to always carry that. And I got great storytellers in my family. You should heard my cousins, my homie Mata, my Oso Tone, rest in peace, like funny, crazy stories. So that's just natural in us, to tell these stories, bring joy in our lives.
Yeah.
I love it.
Lorraine, any more
Yep.
questions?
Yeah, I got one more from YouTube. Someone asked, "What's your dream collaboration?"
Ooh, man. I have some works from my favorite artists in here. Um I don't man. There's uh there's the artist OG Slick from LA, Filipino Hawaiian artist, big time graffiti artist. I love his work. I don't even know how I would collab with him because he's just such on another level. Um, there's a Filipina artist from Oakland, Human. Her work really speaks to me, like the way that she She melds her images together, her use of color. She just started weaving, which is her weaving piece is similar to my own weaving pieces, which is like just blew my mind. I would love to collaborate with her. There's a South African Palangi artist named Faith 47. Um, I got to go to her studio. I bought her book. Her style is just so powerful, and just the moments that she captures the human spirit in her work and the scale that she works at is just so inspiring to me. And then just how she works, the spaces that she works in, like, yeah. So, I feel like those three really are speaking to me, on this question. Um, yeah, yeah. Those are the three that come to mind right now. As far as like Pacific artists, man, there's some big talent. New Zealand always got all the talent, or not all the talent. They have a lot of talent. And I'm just always inspired by what I see coming out of there. Anna Telfilo, congrats to her. If she ever gets to see this, she just got her own gallery studio. Um, who else is doing stuff out there? Yeah, man. And there's Charles from Fat TMD, graffiti artist out of Aotearoa. Him and his partner, they're man, they're doing powerful work out there. So yeah, I would probably say like those two out of Aotearoa. There's Manamea Studios in Upolu. Definitely want to collab with them at some point. Yeah. Over here, Punky Aloha in Hawaii, Tongan artists out there. There's a community artist up in the Bay, Tracy Williams, another Tongan artist. But she's doing amazing work in the community. She painted, I believe, this is the largest Samoan, maybe Pacifica mural that exists right now. It's at the Samoan Development Community Center up in San Francisco. I need to go see that soon. But yeah, that was a big community project that she painted up there. Also, Danny Boy's up there with them, doing that work up there in the Bay. And so, yeah, those are some of our Pacific artists that come to mind.
Yeah, I heard of a couple of them artists that you had named off. And look, man, just keep on doing your thing, man, and I'm sure you'll be on their list on who they want to collab with next. Just keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, you guys in the chat and you too for those questions.
Oh wait,
Man,
I see a question from Leon and my little son.
oh, let's go. I
Let's
can't
see.
read. Can you read it, Lorraine?
It's
Yeah, he put, "Do you want me to be an artist when I grow up?" He's asking his dad.
Good
Hey man,
question, son. Good question.
you already an artist, man. Auntie Fran already volunteered you several times since you've known her. So if I don't have work for you, she'll have work for you. But yeah, son, I'm proud of you. Of course, I would love for you to be an artist, but I also want you to find your own path in this life. I have faith that you're going to find that what brings you joy, and you do that. My boy, he's in a dual immersion Vietnamese language program at his public school. It's right in the middle of Little Saigon. Um, but every morning on our way to school, I'm also teaching him Samoan language. And so he gets to learn a little bit of that on the way to school too. So yeah, man.
Be trilingual, man. He's gonna show all that in his art. That's high, man. Well, thank you, Neff, for that question, man. Putting pops on the spot right there. Uh, yeah, you guys in the questions, man. I love when we get answers or questions from the chat, but I run the risk of them answering or asking the questions that I have lined up too. So those four questions, three of them was on my next list of questions to ask, man.
Oh man, I'm here for all of it, man. When I do
Find me in the chat.
presentations now, I do half my time presentation, the other half Q&A, man, because we'll just talk stories, man. Just talk stories. I'm down for it.
Yeah, I love it too. Long as the chat don't ask the questions I had lined up, man. I'm working here, folks. I'm working here, man. Now I gotta cross out all these questions that I had lined up for JP. Suddenly feel like, uh, but nah, it's all good, man. Just we'll be winding it down. Can you share with us? Is anything new coming up for you? Like any project you're excited about? Besides the working with the youth. I know that's always an excitement. To give back to our youth, to pour into them our wisdom and whatnot. But is there anything else that you've seen down the line? What's coming down the pipe for our artists in our community?
Yeah, so I did mention the Storyteller Project that's coming up through Epic. That's going to be at least a year-long project where we're gathering stories from our Pacific Island community throughout California and also creating an artist response to the stories. So I'm in the planning stages of that. Um, there's also a canoe, a Samoan canoe that is down at UCI, and its story has been kind of hidden, kind of forgotten until now. And I'm really proud of all of our Pacifica students and faculty that have been growing at UCI. I never thought that that would be the case there. But it is happening now. And I feel like with their energy and their vibration that's been going on there, this canoe, the story of this canoe has surfaced. And there's a group there that's come together that the intention is to care for the canoe. And I've been invited to come in and be a part of that. And so that's such an honor for me. And I just want to give a big shout out to those folks for this opportunity. Um, and then, man, um, there are some mural projects that I did apply for through the county. So I'm looking forward to those opening up. I love doing murals. And so hopefully we can kind of some of those start showing up. I'm very aware of like at the end of the as the year gets to a close, I'm like, did I get to paint any murals this year? Like that kind of is my first love is painting murals and of course painting outside. So I'm hopeful that some of those come along. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I was told about we did some work with Fran and them over there in Irvine, UC Irvine with and they gave us a little tour of the campus. We was with the Pacific Islander student club,
Yeah.
and they brought that up about this canoe,
Yeah.
the story, and then the project just kind of stopped and they kind of tabled it, and at that time, I think it was a couple years ago, and they were saying, yeah, we're trying to get it, bring it back to life so these students and everybody can just have a project to work on, and then it can be stapled in the school. So it's good to hear that they are bringing it back up, or at least putting some hands and eyes on that project. And yeah, good luck with that, man. I think that was the way she was explaining it to me that I was like, oh man, that'd be dope for students to learn about that. The storytelling about the canoe and what it symbolizes there and on their campus.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got to spend a little bit of time with it, but yeah, we'll be gathering to work on that project soon.
Yeah, I appreciate that too, man. Once again, like I said, I just appreciate you for your overall time tonight, and then as well as just the way you be in the community, be visible. Like I said, that visibility inspired me. I was like, oh man, got Uso out there, pounding the ground out here in the community, giving back, man. And like I said, it motivates me to get up and do the same thing. So I just want to, just give you your lays for that, Oos, and just proud of you, everything you're doing in the community. Even before I even met you, I heard about you, and it was all good things. And ever since I met you, it's been all gravy ever since then too, as well. Uh, just love being in your presence. I can feel the artistic
Mm.
vibe and energy coming off you every time we together. I'll be wanting to create something. I'd be like, man, JP's here. I gotta draw something. Just give off that artist energy, Ocean. Who don't need that, right? Who couldn't use that? But yeah, just want to once again, just thank you for coming out here, sharing your journey. Like you said, now we have in our very own community, we can point to someone. Like you said, you was growing up and your dad was like, "Oh, what you gonna do that for?" And you couldn't give no reference to that. Like
Yeah,
say a kid want to play football today in our community, he have all type of reference to, matter of fact, the parents probably give them the reference. Hey, see this guy and this guy and this guy, you can do it too.
that's a great example, man. That is a great example. You know,
Yeah, but man, just thank you, JP. Like I said, man, you're a solid Uso, man. Love what you're doing today, not only in your own personal life, but also in the community, with emphasis on our youth. So, man, before we go, before we go to announcements, I just want to give you an opportunity to share any closing thoughts with
yeah.
those who are here.
Yeah, I wanted to, because it's the main subject that we've been talking about as, of course, resilience, but resilience in this work that we do in our community. And so I just want to give a shout out to everyone who has crossed my path and who has been a part of my journey and who has inspired me. Special big shout out to all the aunties in my life that have voluntold me to do things, Auntie Jane over at Pip, Auntie Fran at Piam, Auntie Audrey, who's everywhere. um,
Love you, Auntie Audrey.
yeah, Auntie June over at Samoan Affairs. Uh, my mom, my grandmother. Uh, my grandmother had a big impact on me. When I wrote my bio that way and I listed out all that stuff, I thought of her, because she's the one who says, no, you have to tell them, you have to show them you're qualified to do this. Like she was big on like qualifying, being qualified to do the job, and she had to fight in her own, path of being a pastor, being a woman pastor and her going out and getting her master degree in theology so that she can stand on her own 2 feet to serve God and to preach the word of God. So that was an inspiration for me. She fought through everything in her life to make that happen, and she was proud of that. And so she put her qualifications out there, and I encourage people to do the same. Like it takes people to tell me like, hey, you should put that congressional proclamation on your bio. You earned that, and in our Samoan culture, we like humble, but there's a time to do it, there's a time to show it, and then there's a time maybe you don't want to. But when we're showing up in community like this, I feel like I needed to let our folks know we out here like that. I've been out here like that. And this is something that you can also be out here doing all too, so but it's only been possible because of the elders who have shown me the way, who have given me opportunities, and not just the aunties I mentioned, but all the rising aunties too, all the women who've been serving, I just want to say Rita's number one voluntold JP all the time. I know she's listening or she's going to, but because of Rita
Thanks, Rita.
is how I end up showing up a lot in a lot of different areas, and I'm thankful for her, along with her sister Trisha and Jasmine, who's somewhere out there. They've really had an impact in my life, and just being around them and them giving me these opportunities to serve our community. So yeah, man. Um, yeah, I just appreciate everyone. And so yeah, build those relationships with people. Um, Show up, and 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 in the showing up is the opportunity to build relationships. That's how we know each other, man, because we showed up, right? We showed up in community doing the work, and now we're here talking about it. So this is that example right here.
Yeah, I love the list of aunties, 'cause like you said, anytime we bring up aunties in the community, there is that list of all, like the names you listed off with Auntie Audrey, Auntie Fran, Auntie June. I think we need an uncle list. What you think, man? I think
That's
we,
why we
man, so where the uncle list at? I think JP would probably be one of the first uncles on that list. But yeah, but there is a lot more Usos out here, a lot more men in our Pacific Islander community that's out here doing the work as well. And yeah, I just love the work, giving back to our community, man. To me, that's my payment in itself. You know what I mean? Everything else come after that. Just for me, just making living amends. For those of y'all that know my story, I done took so much from our community when I was in my younger days, and I paid the price for that. And so here I am today with an opportunity to give back. So that's what I'm here for. Like I said, man, I love your leadership. Of doing this work. Definitely inspiration for me and the guys that's coming behind me too, as well. So
yeah, man.
I'm advocate we get that uncle list going. See who all can make that list. That way we start being recognized as the uncles in this community.
I also just wanted to mention, because this keeps coming up in our community. Um, if there's any graphic designers or anyone that wants to pursue that line of work, our community has a lot of needs in that area. And so please feel free to reach out. If there's any guidance or help I can give you in that, I'm here for that, for all of our artists. Please consider me a resource to, share whatever knowledge, whatever practice, whatever space, whatever energy I have, it's for y'all. So,
Appreciate that, Big O's. Thank you, man. And yeah, thank you again for sharing your time and wisdom with us. Thank you for all that you do to represent our Pacifica community. We wish you great success and joy in all your business endeavors. And we hope later we can bring you on as a future guest again. But before we
yeah,
wrap it up, yeah, before we wrap it up, I want to share some wonderful opportunities and resources with you guys. We will also share this on our social media. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. This resources right here, or this investment. Oh, right there. My bad. We'll go over some of the. You can go back to that, Lorraine, or whoever's handling the slides. Yeah, you can follow JP right here, his Instagram and his social media and website and email. And like he extended to you guys, just reach out to him. If you guys haven't, want to collab with him or do anything or suggest that he can be a help in our community, you can reach out to him there. And this is some of his mural in the community. Some of you guys probably recognize some of this. Uh, Great work, man. I like the one at the bottom. What's that one at the bottom right there? The bottom right?
the bottom left or right
Right on the screen. The one
with
with the,
with the women.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, that is that mural is called Poluat. It's named after an atoll island in the Federated States of Micronesia, the state of Chuuk. It's one of the atoll islands there called Polowat. Those are women of Polowat. The women of Polowat are the ones that made the sail that we have, the hand woven sail that we have at Payam, one of our ancestor pieces there. And this mural was a response to my time that I spent with the sail, um, and my own conversations that I had with the sail. And one of the questions that came up with that sail was, "Do you miss the wind?" And so, what these women are depicting with their energies and their face and their hands is they're symbolically pushing wind into the sail that was originally displayed in front of it. And so, yeah, so that's kind of what's going on here with this mural.
That's tight, man. Well, you're definitely blessed and gifted, man. That's some tight artwork right there.
Thank you.
And like I said, here goes some resources and some upcoming webinar. This one is investment, business planning, and funding for small businesses, and that will happen Wednesday, November 12th, from 1 to 2, in partnership with Chase Businesses. This is a free webinar. It's designed to support entrepreneurs at every stage. And that's the link to it, you guys. That's going to be the last one webinar for the year. So make sure you don't miss out on that one. And then also we have Pack Biz. If you guys don't know about Pack Biz, it's like
Yeah.
the new uh, white pages or the new yellow pages for the Pacific Islander small businesses here in California. So you guys check them out. There's also launching a mixer, a party on January 7th, Saturday, from 17th. That's January 17th, 2006 at 6 p.m. The office is in El Segundo. Uh, this evening will bring together Pacific Islander entrepreneurs, professionals, nonprofit leaders, and future collaborators to celebrate the official launch of the PacBiz Business Directory and to strengthen a community dedicated to connection, co-creation, and growth. PacBiz began with a vision to build a platform that spotlight and uplift Pacific Islanders, businesses, and professionals by linking them with one another and a wider network of opportunity. Too often, Pacific Islanders have been underrepresented in the business spaces. So PacBiz was funded to change that narrative. And so we're just so excited and great to have PacBiz in our community, and it's for everybody. You guys just go on there to the website and check out all the wonderful small business and entrepreneurs that they have listing. And then also we have what is this? Sorry. This is the early bird. Is that it? Am I reading that right? Oh, I'll just read off of here. This is the a 10,000 or 10K growth grant. You guys, the latest skip 10,000 growth grant is live and open to all entrepreneurs in the U.S. Skip is giving out over $1 million in grant this year. We want your business to be prepared by answering foundational questions and ensuring you have a website, business plan, and AI agent. Sorry about that, guy. So go ahead and click on to that. That's the website right there for it. I think I skipped some. And then we also have this one right here. All this information can be found. What is this? The Open Studio Day. And that's going to happen November 8th from 12 to 4 at Los Angeles Gate Culture Center. All the info right there on that flyer too. If you guys want to go check them out and hang out Saturday for a couple hours in Los Angeles. And with that, thank you guys again for just spending time with us. Don't forget to follow us online at SoCal Picker, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you, especially again for our guest speaker, JP. Appreciate you, Oos. And man, like I said, man, just continue to do what you do, and and we support you in all you do. Just let us know how we can support you as well in your work. Special shout out to the team behind the scene. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. And before I turn it over to Lorraine to close us out in word of prayer, just once again thank you guys for joining us at another episode of Roots of Resilience. We see some new faces and names that be logging in every week, and definitely want to thank you guys for that, and especially to all our faithful followers who tap in every time Roots of Resilience air. So appreciate that. And with that, I'll ask Lorraine to close us out in the word of prayer. Ty love.
Our dear Heavenly Father, so grateful for this beautiful evening that we were able to share with JP and hear of his story and all of the hard work that he's done in our community. We pray that our listeners were able to feel inspired and also share his message of helping one another and being collaborative and just sharing our skills and talents with our community. We're grateful for this platform that we're able to share Pacific Islander community members, and we pray that we may continue to support one another in all that we do, to continue to help our community members live healthier lives and link them to the resources that are needed. Grateful for all the many blessings that was given to us. We love thee very much, and we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that. Thank you. Man, good looking out, Big O's. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for your time, your honesty, your transparency.